American by birth,
Southerner by blood,
New Englander by
Thank you for tuning in once again to New England's best, the only podcast all about New England, I think, Pilgrims Digress. I'm so excited about today's episode. I've been spending the most time editing and pouring myself into this one. This one has Alex from the band All But Gone. I'm going to give you a little narrative prequel to what is about to happen, to the conversation about to happen, and I want you to stay tuned because afterwards, Alex is going to give us a little taste of what he can do and the kind of style of folk and bluegrass music he's into and the kind of things that you can see here around New England despite it not being in the South. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the soothed sounds of All But Gone at the Timber Yard Brewery in East Brookfield, Massachusetts, and me telling you what's up. When you first enter Timber Yard Brewery, the first thing you notice is the stage set on and merged with an old pickup truck on the far side of the building. The brewery bought and now occupies a former actual timber yard. The warehouse has high ceilings and the sitting area is open and well lit. I plan to talk more about Timber Yard and the other craft breweries in the area, so I'll leave you with that. What is important is that I was there to see All But Gone, a local three-piece folk bluegrass band that plays everywhere in the central Massachusetts area. When I walked in around 8:55 p.m., they were taking a break, and I was able to meet Alex, the mandolin player, while he was working their video recording system. I'd been in touch with him online and was watching his videos. He was friendly and was expecting me. We chatted about the local folk scene a little, and I took a seat. I settled in with a New England IPA, my red notebook all on my own at a table. Taking stock of the room, I was reminded of a continuing trend among craft room breweries, at least in this area. And I'm curious about this in other parts of the country. At least half the room was middle-class, middle-aged men. And they were in groups of at least two or more. I mean, isn't craft breweries the realm of millennial hipster Democrats? I mean, they're behind the bar, there's a couple in the back, and they bring their babies to the brewery at 9 p.m.? I digress. Here the beer is better, and the other options are dive bars or Applebee's. I usually don't go see music at tap rooms. If it's too crowded, I can't hear the music, and it feels like the band is just playing over people having conversations. It distracts me from my beer and my friends. These guys, though, All But Gone, are terrific. As a three-piece, they're very versatile and well-practiced. In their last set that night, I saw them do 5 covers. Merle Haggard, Folsom Prison Blues. They faithfully reminded the room of where folk music came from. Their cover of Stand By Me was singable and fun. And my favorite cover was of Brakeman's Blues, which at this writing I just realized is not a Punch Brothers original, man. They do a lot of covers. So here's my conversation with Alex O'Brien, the mandolin player from All But Gone. We were originally going to meet at Timber Yard, but we decided to just meet at his house, and him and his wife were very hospitable. We sat right down at his kitchen table and had a wonderful conversation, and it's one of those conversations where when I'm in front of the mic, I forget that I'm in front of the mic. So enjoy, and stay tuned for some solo stuff from Alex. We're live. Hi, Alex. How you doing?
Good.
I'm so excited to have you on today. I was just telling you off mic, when I wanted to start the show, you and your band, or at least one of you, had you in my mind for something like this because the whole idea behind my show is everything and anything New England. And I already knew about the folk and bluegrass scene here in central Massachusetts, and then I was browsing around, so you guys like, that's it. This is the type of thing I'm going for. So I appreciate you opening your home to me and taking the time.
I'm really excited to be here with you, listening to your podcast, and I find it interesting that you're talking about New England and folk and bluegrass and the connection, and I'm actually learning it myself right now. So as we talk, I think I'm going to learn a little more about like that myself while I give you the answers I give you, whatever they may be.
Yeah, man. Bluegrass has a special place in my heart. as my tagline says, I'm a Southerner by blood. Although some Southerners would say that Kentucky isn't the South, considering their blueness during the Civil War.
I get you.
But like I was saying off mic, when our family reunions, it was guitars out, Hank Williams going, and and so that type of music has always kind of brought me home in that way. And I've always never really felt like I lived in a place that was going back from my parents, because my dad joined the military and we shipped out here and there, and whenever I got to visit Kentucky, it was always a great time. And my mom's side of the family, they're all singers and players. I even got a third cousin who played with Rhonda Vincent.
Wow.
He plays with who's that country singer with a weird name? Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, I got you.
He plays with Dierks Bentley now.
Rhonda Vincent, she played. She was up here not too long ago.
Yes, in Webster.
She in Webster? I saw her at I believe you. I saw her at the Joe Val Festival. I want to say 3 years ago.
Oh.
So she came out. I didn't meet her, but I saw her interacting with her fans, and she came out and played a big jam, and there was all these people with instruments running after her, and she was like running down the hallway just to get a spot and just to play with her. And she played with everybody.
Wow.
She was going up to the kids and playing with her. She was awesome.
That's great. She played mandolin?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She's an awesome singer.
Oh, yeah. So apparently this third cousin of mine can play anything, right? So it's kind of like in my blood. Do you have any family that plays instruments or anything like that?
No, I think I was the first
Nice.
one. My grandfather played fiddle. I know. I believe he was in the military, and he played classical music fiddle. I never heard him play it. I just know that he did. And yeah, my mother would sing karaoke, and she would sing to us anyways. But she was big into karaoke, and she used to always sing Patsy Cline.
Yep.
And man, I love Patsy Cline because of her. I really do. It's weird because I feel like no one up here knows. I went to the Brimfield antique fair, and I found a bunch of Patsy Cline records. So
Oh, wow.
psyched about that. Can't sing like her. Can't even come close to those notes. She's got a real deep voice. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. We could probably go a long time about music anyway like that. Let's get into New England. I want to know what your relationship is with New England. How long have you been here?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
All right. Well, I was born here. I was born in Worcester, Mass. I'm 35 now, going to be 36 in August. So New England, I mean, that's what I know. I've left the state, when I was younger, went cross country myself, and I didn't realize like how different other states were until I left. And accent's one thing, or just how we act, and I found out like, oh, it's different. One thing I remember, me and my buddy went to California, and we're out there hanging out with some people we knew, and we just really met, and we're interacting, kind of being like, I guess you would consider like jerks to each other, but we were just joking around, and they thought we had a problem with each other, and we were saying wicked, and it really was something you don't think about when you just talk like that, and Or I remember also when I went cross country, and I was in Oklahoma, and I had a flat tire, and I was in Walmart trying to get it fixed. And I remember I said, my car's in the back. I need my tire fixed. And I'm sure it came out like, my car's in the back. I need my tire fixed. But to me, it just sounded normal. And the guy's like, I have no idea what you're saying to me. And so I just like slowed down and we figured it out. I was at the tire center.
We used hand gestures.
What else would I be doing?
That's great. My parents moved up here, and they're getting the same thing with their Kentucky accent. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Well, here's a question I like to ask people, because I did not grow up in New England, but what did you do as a kid that other people not from New England might not have been able to do?
I was lucky as a kid. My parents had a trailer in Cape Cod, in Dennis area, and I basically grew up going down every summer and just being a Cape Cod kid. Going to the beach. We went to Corporation Beach, and like just going in, finding crabs, fish, and There was go-karts down there. There was an A&W root beer place down there. Arcades. The Cream and Cone before it's now a bigger place. It was this tiny shack when I was a kid, and we in the trailer park down there with a lot of friends from Worcester and actually all over the state. But I remember specific a lot of friends from Worcester. We'd have these giant capture the flag tournaments, and like just doing kid stuff. And but that for me that resonated with New England in that coast area of New England.
Sounds like the 60s. The early 60s Sandlot
I know.
Stuff. It's great.
I know. But it was late 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Did you ever see any Wicked Bad Storms?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was just, we had some hurricanes up here, but, yeah, the snow I grew up with here is, I don't know, it's something I'm used to, I guess, and you deal with it. You don't think it's that bad, I guess.
Yeah, this past winter, it
was nothing.
Big deal to me, and my parents are freaking out. Oh my gosh, so much snow.
This year was great. I thought.
Yeah,
we've had some serious ones. So yeah, I mean, growing up in Worcester and stuff, I'm thinking New England. I don't know. I think the changing in the seasons.
Yeah,
we get the beautiful fall, and like. Man, if you're here, like you don't realize that. You're just like, oh, it's kind of wet and damp and cold. But people come here for that.
Yeah, that's right.
For the beautiful leaves. And now as I'm older, we drive out and you notice it and you're like,
yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I lived in a town up north of here for about 4 years, and there was this one stretch of drive I would take every day home from work. And I remember like taking mental notes about the changing of the seasons because it was one of those. It was a straightaway, and had the trees were growing over it like that. It had like a canopy, and I just remember spring was just green, like bright green. Winter it's all either really white or really just gray. Fall was awesome, and summer is just summer, I guess.
Yeah, winter just kind of pushes a little too far around here. I think it's just like you're just like, man, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes you appreciate the warmth, maybe. I don't know. I think as New Englanders, we forget quickly.
Yes. And, growing up in Maryland, nobody goes outside.
Really?
Because it's not as appreciated as it is up here.
Yeah.
Like here, do you notice, you may not, but as soon as it hits 45, people are outside doing stuff.
Yeah, because at that point
it's time to get going.
That's it. 60. Yeah, there's the thing is like 60 in the fall, it's freezing, and then in the spring, 60 is like summertime for us.
Flip flops.
Yeah.
But in Maryland, when it gets a little warmer, it's like no big deal. Everybody's just kind of ready for summer, and then they hunker down with the air conditioning. So it's rough. Then it's hot down there, at least.
Yeah, I bet.
To my taste. But everything is air conditioned. It's not too bad. But all right, let's get into music. Let's get into how you play music, what you're doing with music.
Sure.
Your band's name?
All But Gone.
Mm-hmm. How long have you guys been playing together?
Oh, geez. 5 years, maybe. 4 years, on and off, kind of with the same guys.
Sure.
Kind of rotating some people in and out. And, yeah, the bluegrass scene, a lot of people rotate in and out, start bands, new bands, go, whoever is available. All But Gone with these guys, we've been pretty solid for a while now. And what's different with them and me playing with other people is we write our own music. So a lot of places just do covers of like bluegrass and folk songs. Yeah. And that step to do original music it's a big step. Because it's work, and a lot of these places, if you're going to play original tunes, you need to be playing familiar tunes that people know too, that have you come and play. They want to hear familiar tunes.
Right.
We sneak in our own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was there, I remember hearing a Johnny Cash song. You did not The Train. What's the other one? Ring of Fire.
I think we've attempted Ring of Fire. We talked about that as we grow as a band. Is like you need a Johnny Cash song, you need an Elvis song, you need a Hank Williams song, and I love all them, so I don't have a problem with doing it,
Sure.
And it's fun to do,
and it's easier.
It is easier, especially if you grow
simple.
up with it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the melody. You're like, oh, I already know this song.
Yeah.
You think you know the lyrics.
Yeah, you get to like the third verse. How long? So you play mandolin in All But Gone.
Yeah.
How long have you actually been playing that instrument?
Mandolin, 7 years. I had to look up because I knew you were going to ask me that.
Sure.
I had to look up on my YouTube because I put on like the first YouTube mandolin thing I put up. I think it was like 2012.
So 7 years. What
Yeah.
did you take any lessons or anything?
For mandolin?
Yeah.
No. I started learning off YouTube and other sites. There's banjoben.com. He was like new on the scene then, and I got like his gold membership that's like forever. So I just bought that because it was like a promotional thing. It helped me kind of get started. I played guitar since I was 11.
Oh, okay.
So fretted instrument to another fretted instrument. I bought my first mandolin was off Craigslist. I looked it up and I drove out to Connecticut with my wife and went to. It was an awfully shady place to buy a mandolin at night. Some kid. Anyways, I got it and I got it back home and I was so happy with it. But it was basically unplayable. The tuners were coming off from the screw and they were stripped, so I had to super glue it. That lasted for about a month until I think on Christmas Eve I went to Guitar Center and bought a mandolin if they were open. It was like right that day. So
7 years.
Yeah, and I got a nice Ibanez. Did the job though, stayed in tune. That was the most important thing.
I just saw your new one. What'd you get now?
I got a Kimball. Will Kimball, he makes these phenomenal instruments, and it kind of fit how I play. It's nice and loud, and the tone's good, and good for bluegrass, and when you push it, it goes with you. Some instruments are beautiful sounding, soft, and they're supposed to be played like that. This is a loud, nice, awesome instrument. It's a beautiful instrument too. It sounds beautiful. And my other, I can't leave it out, is a rattlesnake mandolin. Olin Davis made that mandolin. I got that a couple years ago, and I won't ever get rid of that, or I don't think I'll ever get rid of the Kimball either. But that's my baby. There's not many of them. There's like 80 of them.
Oh, wow.
And I think what helps me is that when I bought it, it was like no one knew about them. Yeah. So I got snagged it,
You've always played A-frame? Was it A-style
A-frame? That's the Kimball's an A-frame, and then actually the Rattlesnake's an F. Now they say to play better bluegrass is F, but that's just that's not right. That's not true. It doesn't matter
what the difference would be.
I don't know. I believe there's some. Do you? I believe there's some tonal differences, but I think that's really with each mandolin and. If you have the exact same type of mandolin, you have an F next to an A. Yeah, I think there's some tonal differences, but I'm telling you that the Kimball A kicks. Yeah, and you ain't gonna tell me any different. So, also the F costs a lot more, man. Like almost double the price. Yep. There's a lot of work into it, but.
So when I came and saw you a couple weeks ago at Timber Yard Brewery, and I got some background or ambient noise, and I'm hoping you'll send me some clips that we can put on this show.
Absolutely.
Towards the beginning and end. But when you're playing with All But Gone, when you're playing these, even if it's original music, what are you thinking? What's your style? What's your musicianship? How do you get into that?
Okay. I guess it depends on what song we're playing, but I really want to. When you're in a band, you want to kind of. Be together and it's like you're presenting a show for people, right? So it's not all about me. It's each has our own part. So when I'm playing with them, I try to focus on like what would be best if I'm playing with them, if I'm playing rhythm, or if I'm just adding little things in the background. And when it's time to solo, I really try to kick it, as far as like have fun, man, like push it, like really, and the two I play with, Jim and Dave, these guys are awesome, and they're definitely professionals, and they know a lot about the music, and I think we really just want to put a good show on for people and have fun. I think those are the main things for us.
Yeah. What's the best time you've ever had on stage?
The best time?
Sprung that one on me.
Yeah, right? Now you make me think. The best time. I mean, I just like looking out, and if like there's kids there dancing or something, I mean, that's kind of important to me. A lot of my family members come to the shows, and if they're having a good time, I mean, if I can see people having a good time, and that's really what matters, you know. If I'm playing good, that's fine, but you know, I feel like other musicians know like how much work you put in when you're up there, and people that don't play or just enjoy music really just enjoy what you're doing. You know, they don't really look into like, wow, that was a Bananas solo or anything. It's just they're there, they hear the music, they're having fun, and that's it. You know.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened on stage for you?
The worst thing that's ever happened. I'm trying to think if I ever like fell off stage or something. Well, it has nothing to do with my recent playing. When I was in a punk band, we were all really into the music, and I remember my drummer kicked the drum set over, and I remember being very upset that we couldn't continue the song because the drum set was knocked over.
What was your punk band's name?
Oh, geez. We got Mission Sequence Life,
Yes.
and Allegory Index was my hardcore band, and those were interesting times. I was a lot younger, and like it was fun playing. That was some serious playing, throwing the guitar around and jumping around like a mad person and doing crazy things like playing just wherever we could.
Yeah. So would you say finding bluegrass, like that's part of growing up?
Yeah, because I just can't deal with the noise. It's so funny. I love the music, and I can put on new Misfits, old Misfits, either way, and I could sing to it, and I love it. I mean, I love old Misfits, and I just get into it. But as far as going to punk shows and stuff, my friends and from those bands, they're all still in bands like that. They rock, man. They really go. We played a reunion gig for it was called the Trans Buddha, which was a place we played in Shrewsbury that doesn't exist anymore, and we played at Ralph's Diner. And I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago for Allegory Index. And then we got together. It was 15 years ago I played with these guys. And we learned the songs. I was retaught the songs by my buddy Matt. And we played. It was awesome. Just getting on there and playing some hardcore music like I used to. It was really fun. Makes you really think. I was like, I could go back to playing this. You know? The transition to bluegrass is... I've met a ton of people that play bluegrass now that are my age, so I'm 35 or around my age, that played hardcore and metal music. I don't know. I think it's because it's fast. There's solos, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It really has a connection. Mm-hmm. And even though maybe old school bluegrass people would be like, come on, like, slow down. It's there. That's why I like it. I see the connection. There's breakdowns and... Yeah. It's interesting way to play, if you think about it that way, you know.
It reminds me of Chris Thile does a cover of. Hold on, I'm gonna edit this out.
No, yeah.
It's a Heart song.
Oh, no way.
Oh, I can't remember the words. And it's the heart beats in its cage. Heart in a Cage.
All right.
By Heart. You know what I'm talking about?
I know who Heart is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the same kind of thing. Like I don't know if they're punk rock, but they're still rocking. So he does, because the guitar solo in that song is, I mean, you can hear it. It's just, it's just walking down the fret, you know?
Yeah.
But he's got his band kind of cascading on it. It's really cool because the mandolin drops in and the banjo drops in right behind him, like a step or two up. It's really good.
This is the Punch Brothers?
Well, it's his band before that.
Oh, okay.
The album's called How to Grow a Woman.
Okay.
Yeah. But they eventually became the Punch Brothers. The same guys, I think. But Chris Thile, he does on that album, I think he like there's songs on there. I was like, I found out was a rock and roll song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you're right. The transitions, it works really well, especially with more complicated rock songs. That almost feels like it's more transition-y to bluegrass because of the versatility of like bluegrass bass. Can do a lot more than your rock and
different
guys would do.
Yeah, you get the different parts that, you know, if you got a banjo and mandolin and you got the percussion and the bass, and then you can do so much with that. And you can make a whole really interesting sound and track.
Do you get the sense that there's been a revival of bluegrass in the whole country for the past 10 years or so? I do.
So it's hard for me because I guess so. I mean, it's still alive. But I kind of fell into it and just kind of dived in so deep that I had no idea how the rest of the world feels about it.
Yeah.
So like all I care about is like bluegrass music, and like with me playing it around here, I know some of my friends come to shows and they don't listen to bluegrass, but maybe they start now, or they listen to folk now, and you know, it gets them into it.
Yeah, I remember starting. Nickel Creek got me going, and once I started expanding, I couldn't stop. And that's when I picked up a mandolin too. I was like, I gotta try this out. But you know, you pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. It's the nature of my life.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was with the guitar. Like I got older, and then I had an acoustic guitar, and that's actually got me into the mandolin because I was playing acoustic music, and all I wanted to do really was sit on my chair or the couch and just kind of strum something, and that really pulled me to the mandolin because it was so small, which is kind of silly. There was nothing about like, oh, it sounds nice. It was like, no, I can do this and not really.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Really have a clunky guitar, in the way.
It's true. I'm like swinging the guitar around, hitting kids in the face.
Yeah. It's just this small thing. It works.
Yeah, that's true.
And, for me, it was weird getting in the bluegrass because that's not what I was into at first. Like I'm Irish, so I had Irish music in. It's a lot of Irish up here.
Oh, yeah.
So the Dubliners, the Clancy brothers, and I always kind of like threw them on, especially around St. Patrick's Day. Sure. And I'm like, I love folk music, and so there's not a lot of there's a lot more mandolin in that nowadays than there ever was before. There were like tenor banjos and stuff like that, but that's what I started to get into with the mandolin, and then I found jug band music with it, blues. Way back, Gus Cannon. I'm not gonna remember any of these guys, but that type of music. And I was like, well, I wasn't even thinking of bluegrass because bluegrass was kind of like so fast, and I couldn't play that good. But I was like, I could play the blues, you know.
Yeah.
And I realized the jug band music, a lot of that influenced the bluegrass, and they played a lot of the same songs, Definitely. You know. And I found this guy. He's like Mike Compton. He's a phenomenal mandolin player, and he's like a phenomenal old school mandolin player, and he's really good too, not just like saying old school. Like he is really good, and he played a lot of blues and stuff. So once I heard him, I was like, oh man, this is it. This is like he can play it by himself and sing and sound good. And and he was a Monroe style player, Bill Monroe, bluegrass, the father of bluegrass. From Kentucky, yeah, the Bluegrass Boys. His style, and that's where I got into it. And then you just keep deep. I delve farther and farther in this old school bluegrass scene. You know, it's a deep hole. It really is.
What is the most difficult part of creating or playing music for you?
Time.
Yeah.
I work full time. I think any musician that is around here, like, it's not a full-time musician, has a job, family time, which you got to take in. And so it's taking the time in writing music, and that I guess that's it. Just it's taking the time to practice and writing. Although I practice all the time, I always play. Every day I play every day, almost every day I should say. And I love it. Taking the time and trying to write songs. Yeah, that's it. It's doable.
Sure.
You know, a lot of times I'll start a song and then I'll just let it go. I'll have to record it because I'll forget I'm even writing it, and then come back to it. It could take 6 months. It could take a year. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of songs, but I get enough where I understand at least my way of writing them. You know.
I think when I was at Timber Yard, I think they had played one of yours.
Yeah.
I was excited to hear that. What inspires you to make music?
So I started playing guitar when I was 11, and I always found it as an escape. You know, when I was, we had computers and stuff, but we didn't, you know, the internet wasn't really, video games weren't that crazy where you go outside and play sports and stuff. I think I had a lot of trouble in school. I used to get in trouble in school, and for me, they wouldn't let me play sports because of that. So I had a guitar, and I just kind of locked myself in my room and played guitar, and like would sit with CDs and just like this band Overcast, this hardcore band from New England. I'd sit there, rewind it, listen to it, rewind it, listen to it, and just keep trying to learn the song or any hardcore punk band. And it was an escape for me. It still is.
Sure.
From just everyday life, and that's Excuse me.
I wanted to ask you about a song that I heard while I was there, and it intrigued me. I don't know if it's an original or not, but the singer sang "Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die."
It's a Willie Nelson song.
Ah, that's what I thought. In my notes, I wrote Willie Nelson ? Okay.
Yep.
That's a good song. Like
the
that.
bassist, Dave, he brought that to us, and man, that line, I'm like, that's a line. That is the line. There's lines that you write and you're like, I should say you hear and you're like, man, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah.
Because that's a great one.
Right.
Roll me up and smoke me when I die. That's just like, there's a Poe song that's like, bury me in the dirt or something like that. And it's just like, it reminds me of that. I can't even think of it now. But it's just some lines you hear and you're just like, oh, yeah, I feel that in my heart.
Yeah.
You know, it almost like nothing matters, you know, it's just, but it's in a good way. You know, it's weird to explain.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as you feel like Willie's kind of talking about oneness, right?
Yeah,
I'm going back to the earth
and
enjoy my life.
Yeah, actually, which is weird. I wrote a song and we played it there. It was and the lyrics. It's my own song. I can't remember. But it's bury me in the dirt, bury me under a tree.
Yes.
You know, and geez, how does it go? It's my own song. I can't even remember it. I'll be happy when I'm gone. Just because the idea for me is like, that's the exact same thing. And mind you, I wrote those lyrics before I heard the Willie Nelson song.
No.
So for me, yeah, is that oneness is like, it's okay. I'm happy here, and I'll be happy when I'm gone because I know my piece is made.
Mm-hmm. We're still going. 30 minutes in, not bad. This thing is great. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. Okay. Oh man, I wish I had my notes. I wonder if she's home.
If you want to take a break. Yeah.
There we go. It's another file, but that's fine. All right, Alex, at the end of each conversation, I like to go over New England things with people. Just rapid fire. Feel free to expand if you'd like. But I want to know if you've done some of these New England things. And I may skip some over those, depending, but we'll see.
Is there a timer?
There should be. I should have
a
timer.
Buzzer?
Alex.
Yes.
Have you ever tapped trees for maple syrup?
No. But I played Hollis Hill Farms. They sell maple syrup, and we're playing there soon. And I played there last year, and that place was awesome. So.
Where is it? When are you playing?
Fitchburg, and we're playing in the end of July.
Oh, okay. That's a great place. I like it. That guy's really cool.
Yeah, they have wicked good barbecue.
Yeah, oh really?
Serious good barbecue.
And he sells like fresh, right off the farm meat.
Yeah,
from a freezer.
There's a giant cow there that licked us in our hands. I don't know. We were petting it. Did
you see the pigs?
Yeah,
oh, man,
I think we got a picture of us with the cow. Like that's like one of our band photos.
Oh, cool.
I think our favorite band photo.
Cool. Hollis Hills Farm, end of July.
Look at that.
Pitch big. Fitch Vegas.
That's
the Gardner. G Vegas. Alex, you ever been ice fishing?
No, I seen it though. I drive by in the winter and I go, I don't know why people do that. Probably to drink, I'm assuming.
You ever been to a Sox game or a Patriots game?
I've been to both.
Celtics?
I think I've seen the Celtics when I was a kid.
Any good memories?
So, and I just saw a thing on Ken Griffey Jr., who didn't play for the Red Sox, but my father wanted to see him hit a home run. Oh. And I wanted a hat. So we went to get a hat, and he hit a home run.
Really?
Yeah, and he missed it. But we're Sox fans, but, you had a superstar in the stands, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, New England Patriots. I've been to a couple of their games. It's awesome.
Which ones have you been to?
I don't know, dude. They're far and few in between.
Yeah.
Not recently. Probably 3 years ago.
During the drought?
Yeah. Yes. My first one when I was 12 was during the drought. I'll say that, Yeah.
Oh, man. You ever been snowmobiling?
No.
You ever seen a ghost?
Yes. Yes, I have. Wow, I've got real scary in here. Rutland, there was a place in Rutland that I think there was like I don't know if it was a hospital.
You're talking about the prisons.
It was a prison?
Yeah, they I thought that they were rounding up Japanese people in World War II. It's not the case. I had asked somebody that I knew who lives there. It's they put immigrants there in the early 1900s.
Wherever we were was like a kids thing hospital that they were tearing down. Oh. It could have been the prison camps. I just don't know. But I remember they were tearing down this building in Rutland, and we, as teenagers, broke in. And I remember we went in through the door, and there was all these books on the ground. We went over and climbed them, and we went up the stairs. It was dark. We had no flashlights. All we had was lighters. And but they were tearing it down to the point where there was like a whole wall was missing. You could walk out and just kind of look upon whatever the landscape, and there's no wall. It was completely unsafe. And so it was me and a group of my friends. I remember this girl. I thought she was with me, and I thought it'd be a tough guy, and I went on my own, and I'm just walking and I'm talking to her. I'm like, yeah, this ain't that bad. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a little scared, but it's not that bad. Come on. So I had my lighter, and we're walking, and I turn around and she's not there, but I swore that she was there. And that's my ghost story. Is that person that I swore I felt next to me that I was talking to was there the whole time, and she wasn't. I was alone. That would have freaked me out.
What was the time span on that? A couple minutes?
It was short, enough where I found my friends and was just like, hey.
Let's leave now.
I swear. To this day, I'm just like, I swear someone was next to me. Yeah. Like, you get that feeling. When you feel when someone's next to you.
Oh, yeah.
So I've believed ever since.
I don't blame you for it. You ever said wicked pissa?
No.
Say wicked. My kid said wicked the other day. I was so proud.
I say wicked all the time.
Oh, all the time. You ever drank not Dunkin' Donuts? Oh, I'm sorry. Dunkin's.
I mean, I love Dunkin's. I love Dunks. But no, of course. I mean, Starbucks. Big fan of Starbucks. And I work in Worcester, and on Main Street there's a lot of good coffee places. Oh, yeah. So I do that. I like coffee. I like a good coffee. I like strong coffee. Mm-hmm. And I've had really bad coffee. And I don't want bad coffee. I want good coffee.
You ever been hiking in the White Mountains?
No, but I was talking about that today, which was strange. I've been talking about hiking. People at work want to hike. And that was brought up. And I'm like reading over questions. Yeah. And it came up. I was like, wow. The White Mountains came up today. It was just a funny thing.
Yeah. It's beautiful up there for sure. And there's a lot of good hiking around here.
I will say Mount Wachusett, I've hiked that
yep.
about 100 million times.
Yep. You ever done Monadnock?
No.
The most hiked mountain in the world or country.
No.
You can.
I'm like out there can check a lower, like not even. I'm a walker. I want to be a hiker. I really do. I'll do like nature walks, I call them.
Oh, yeah. yeah. Oh, me and the wife will go hiking, and she's just like,
just going.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
if you have a dog that can pull you, it's awesome.
That's true.
I took my sister's dog up Mount Wachusett. It was like no effort. Thing just pulled me right up.
Oh, it helps you out, yeah. makes sense. What's the most New England thing you ever did?
Oh, jeez. Man, I should have been ready for that one. Oh, the most New England thing I ever did. Oh, man. I'm sure I'll think about this later and be like, oh, that was the most New England thing I ever did. I mean, I guess, yeah, being out of the country, with my accent.
Getting in fights with friends?
Yeah, getting in fights with friends where you just, oh, yeah. So that was like a thing in California. Like, I wasn't 21. I was trying to get these kids to buy me alcohol, and they wouldn't do it, but they would smoke weed, like no problem. Like walk down the street with cops. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was just, and they're like, nah, I ain't gonna. I'm like, you can't buy me like a 12-pack? Like, I can't believe this.
It's a felony.
Yeah. So
a felony right in front of me. That's weird. Yeah, just different attitudes, huh?
Yeah, I guess we're big drinkers up here.
If would you ever move away?
Yep.
Where would you go?
Oh, geez. I mean, we always talk about Florida. I know it's so hot.
You were just there?
It's so hot. I was just in Florida. Yeah, we go to Disney World. Big fan. Really anywhere warmer where the snow is not here. And, snow gets to you after a while, but I just don't know. I don't know if I'll ever move away.
Yeah.
I say that.
Or how you'll feel when you get older.
Well, that's the thing. As I get older, I'm sure not going to want to, shovel.
Yeah.
I think that's all people have a problem with around here is shoveling.
I like...
in the potholes.
Yes.
Awful.
I like driving around during the winter and snowing, and you can tell who's got garages.
Oh, yeah. I do not have a garage.
Me neither.
And I have a snowblower that works...
Yeah, me too.
3% of the time.
Oh,
Nothing.
right.
It's not even like a... It works in the summer.
That's great. Well, man, I appreciate your time today, and again, letting me in your house, and your musicianship and your show at Timber Yard a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You want to plug your band and your YouTube?
Sure. Yeah. I'm in a couple bands right now. All But Gone. You can find us on YouTube. Also on Free Toaster Media. Let's see. Annabelle's Revival. That's another band I play with that plays around, doing porch fests out there. And another band I've been with for a long time is called Cross Tracks, and we're playing next week. We're playing a couple places, but I know we're playing Pinecroft. That's a big one for us. I really like that place. That's a good ice cream place in West Boylston or Worcester area, West Boylston. And my YouTube channel is just Alex O'Brien. You can put Alex O'Brien mandolin, Alex O'Brien guitar, Alex O'Brien banjo, and you'll find one of my videos up.
You're on Instagram too.
I am. Alex OB1.
Yes.
Because Star Wars.
Exactly.
I mean, I really don't think I need to say anything about that. I think we all know.
We do. All right, man. Thanks so much again. And if you're out there listening, check them out. All But Gone and others. And he's playing around the Central Mass area. And it was a treat. And I should have pre-recorded some narrative and thoughts about what I saw. And go check them out for yourself. Thanks again, Alex.
Thank you.
All right, Alex is going to play a little something that... what is this, Alex?
I wrote it.
Oh, it's his own. Go ahead, bro.
Thank you. It's called Winter's Bloom.